Welcome to the final lecture in the Mathematics Behind Sanctification course. And today we are going to be talking about diffusion as our final mechanism. I assume you did the reading. Psalm 73. Psalm 73 tells us that the wicked are getting away with it. This poses the question: how do the wicked work? Why are they so successful? How are they able to continue doing what they're doing? Well, I think we should look at it mechanically. Going back to Ethan's friend group, all the way back to the original lecture in this course, we had a group of people, seedy characters, some bad apples, and they seemed to make bad decisions together, scheme together. Ethan gets wrapped up in this group, in this dynamic. The wicked are networks. We went over network theory earlier in this course, where a person can be a node, a connection between them an edge. You can have a hub that connects a whole bunch of nodes together, and a cluster, where there's a whole bunch of nodes that have connections to each other. Let's think about this in terms of the wicked. Say somewhere up high there is a corrupt politician who passes business regulations into law that have loopholes, and then people at the bottom are able to take advantage of these loopholes and end up funneling some of this money back up to the top. That is an example of a network. The people will be the nodes, and diffusion is the process by which information travels across the network, going through the channels of connection that people have already established. And that would be an example of the diffusion of evil. So how would we go about taking care of a network that's working like this? Think about your favorite organized crime movie. Think about The Godfather. The guy giving directions on top and the button men at the bottom carrying out his wishes. Two real ways to look at it. The first way is going to be every detective movie we've ever seen, where you have the detectives with the cork board and there's a picture of the people and there's X's through them when they arrest them, and it sort of escalates into a pyramid. The X here, X here. Or there is the Samson method. Samson, as you know, captured by the Philistines, surrounded by them, and in his final act, he manages to take out a whole bunch of them, including their entire leadership class. Taking out the top, goes down to the bottom, puts an end to the evil diffusion. But class, this is not a call to action. This is not a call for a holy war. I know some of you are concurrently taking the Amen algorithm course with this course. And there's one lecture in particular in there that has a lesson that relates to the framework that we have been using. So this would be the difference between a local and a global lens of analysis. On the global level, there is not much any one of us can do to change the mind of the president, to knock Don Corleone off his throne. But on the local level, there's a great many choices we can make. We can change the structure of our day, what we decide to do in our day, what we decide to contribute to as we go throughout the course of our day. On a local lens, on a local scale of analysis, given that there's these networks that evil diffuses through, what can we do? We can leave these networks. And ideally, we can take someone with us. As Christians, we're called to preach the gospel, called to spread the gospel, and maybe your words your actions can be someone's savings grace as they leave a bad network. In class, I want to close on this. There was a principle explored in PMP called nonlinear moral agency. The fundamental premise underlying this sentiment would be that the world is nonlinear. Small changes can lead to huge outcomes. And I think this is incredibly true over our moral agency. We get to choose, and even a small choice can radically change our futures and the trajectory we're going down. But I would put it to you, nonlinear moral agency. The choices we make, how we talk to people, how we relate to our friends and family, what we post online, can have vast implications moving forward. I guarantee you there's something you could do today, and you start a small action, and it will have vast positive consequences reverberating far beyond the initial scope of your decision to act. Thank you, and God bless.